Total Pro Sports presents the 15 greatest sports duos of all time. Two is better than one, in many cases anyway, but it's not more true when it applies to a couple of all-time greats playing on the same team at the same time. Some of the greatest teams ever had the luxury of having two legends play together, while other teams have had the misfortunes of defending these guys. Here are the greatest duos in the history of sports. Number 15, HENRIK and Daniel SEDIN. The greatest twin combination in sports history has accomplished a lot. Daniel and HENRIK SEDIN, the second and third overall picks by the Vancouver Canucks in 1999, have done a lot. 2006 Olympic gold medal champions, they have each won a scoring title and saved a perennially struggling Canucks franchise, helping them reach the Stanley Cup final in 2011. Number 14, Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. There is a reason the San Antonio Spurs won 4 NBA championships from 2003 to 2014 with these two men on board. The two best players of the Big Three that also featured Manu Ginobili made the Spurs one of the greatest dynasties ever. Duncan won the NBA Finals MVP in 1993, 2003, and 2005, while Parker won it in 2007. Still, 9 combined championships in 15 years is something else. Number 13, Mario Lemieux and Jaromir JAGR. There's not a whole lot of doubt that these two would have been the greatest hockey duo ever if they had played at least a decade together. No harm done. 4 Stanley Cups together with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1991 and 1992. Both men are in the top 10 all-time in league scoring. 4 combined MVPs with 11 scoring titles. Yeah, these guys were pretty good. Number 12, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Even though no other great duo had such an ugly breakup, no one can deny how great Kobe and Shaq Daddy were together. 8 NBA championships together with the Los Angeles Lakers. 2 MVPs. It doesn't matter how they ended. Laker fans are thrilled they had these two together. Number 11, Mike Bossy and Brian Trottier. The 1980s New York Islanders dynasty won 4 Stanley Cups, but Bossy and Trottier were the two catalysts for the titles. Aside from 8 combined cups, the two men combined for 13 100-point seasons together. 2 Conn Smythe Awards as playoff MVP. Oh, and Bossy scored 50-plus goals in 9 of the seasons where these two men skated side by side. Number 10, John Stockton and Karl Malone. 2 of the greatest players in NBA history to win a championship, and maybe the greatest duo that didn't hoist that gold trophy. Nonetheless, Stockton and Malone made the Utah Jazz a perennial powerhouse. They spent 18 years together with the team. During that span, they combined for 25 All-Star selections, 2 MVPs, and were on the NBA's 50th anniversary all-time team. Number 9, KAREEM, ABDUL-JABBAR, and Magic Johnson. A 12-year age difference wasn't enough to stop these two juggernauts and 2 Laker all-time legends. These two played together from 1979 to 1989. All that happened was 5 championships for the Lakers during that span. 5 final MVPs and 2 MVPs. It's hard to understand how the Lakers didn't win the title every year. Number 8, Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale. 2 Los Angeles Dodger pitching legends playing on the same team. Koufax and Drysdale were 2 of the great pitchers in their eras. They played together from 1956 to 1966. They led the Dodgers to World Series championships in 1959, 1963, and 1965. They combined for 4 NL Cy Youngs, 1 NL MVP, and combined to lead the majors in strikeouts a ridiculous 7 times. Wowza. Number 7, Bill Russell and Bob Cousy. 2 of the greatest Boston Celtics legends laced up the shoes together from 1956 through 63, completely dominating the basketball court. So here's what happened. 6 titles each, including 5 in a row from 1959 to 1963. In their reign together, they combined for 5 MVP awards. They were both All-Stars in each but the first 2 seasons together. That's dominance. Number 6, Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine. Maddux and Glavine played together from 1993 until 2002. A law enforcement agency needs to open up a case as to how the Atlanta Braves only won a single World Series together in 1995. So here's what happened together. 5 NL Cy Youngs, 5 times they combined to be the MLB win leader, and 12 All-Star games. This has always been the greatest 1-2 pitching tandem in MLB history. Both men are also proud members of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Number 5, Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. When you put the greatest quarterback of all time by far and undoubtedly the best wide receiver together, you have something special. The two greatest players in San Francisco 49ers history teamed up for 3 titles in 8 years together. With no one probably catching Rice's receiving record, it's hard to think any quarterback and receiving tandem will be better. Wait, hold on. Number 4, Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. Now you put possibly the greatest quarterback of all time with the top 5 wide receiver ever, and you have even more trouble. Peyton Manning made the Indianapolis Colts dangerous, and he had it thanks to Harrison's talents. Playing 11 years together, Harrison and Manning combined for a record 118 touchdowns, a record that's going to be tough to break. Manning won 3 MVPs with Harrison at his helm, and they led the Colts to a Super Bowl 41 title. Number 3, Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier. Put together the NHL's all-time top 2-point leaders, and you have something else. Not much more needs to be said. Gretzky and Messier went together to bring home 4 Stanley Cups to the Edmonton Oilers. There was no stopping this machine. Gretzky broke record after record with Messier, including 92 goals in a season and 215 points, both unbreakable records. I think we all understand now. Number 2, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Maybe the greatest baseball player of all time and also possibly the greatest baseball player of all time played together. In 12 seasons together, the Yankees won 4 World Series, led by the great Bambino and Gehrig. Ruth led the AL in home runs 7 times. Gehrig did it twice. They each won an MVP award and 3 batting titles. These two are why baseball is so iconic and why the Yankees are the most successful sports team in American history. And number 1, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. With all due respect to the others on this list, what MJ and Pippen did together in an ultra-competitive NBA was ridiculous. From 1987 to 1998, they played every year together except when Jordan didn't play in 1994. Still, they led the Bulls to 6 championships in the 90s. Jordan won every Finals MVP and 5 league MVPs. Though MJ is the GOAT in the NBA's history, he still needed Pippen, one of the finest defensive players, to carry him, and he sure did. And that's it for the 15 greatest sports duos of all time. But wait, we are not done with you yet. In the comments below, we want to know, who are your favorite sports duos? And for more cool videos, click subscribe.